And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sterling 10-19. We're going to present some softball to you this afternoon. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz. It's the Sterling Silver Knights taking on the Haddon Township Hawks. And Sterling, this is going to be their last game as they head into the playoffs. That will count towards their PowerPoint standings. We'll get to those in a minute. But right now, Schulz, you take a look at the Colonial Liberty standings. Sterling's only loss in the division coming against West Effort.
Well, that was the last game we had here. One of those games that uncharacteristically Sterling didn't do what they needed to do in the field, made some errors, and it was just a day where it was West Deptford's day all around. Came away with an easy win, but that's going to be a interesting game on Thursday because they can turn things around against a very good West Deptford team. And if you look at the standings right here, West Deptford, you see right there at 7-0, Sterling at 6-1, 11-3 overall, followed by Audubon, Overbrook, Collingswood, and Haddonfield, having a tough year rounding things out. You look at the other side where Haddon Township is. You see Haddon Township in second behind Gateway, 5-3 in the conference, 7-3 overall. Haddon Heights at 5-3, 6-7 in that conference. Woodbury, Paulsboro, and Lindenwold at 0-10 in the conference. There you see the starting lineup for Haddon Township.
Yeah, it's going to be Wakely leading off at second base. Center field, Caleb Bly. Shortstop, Hannah Windus. Pitching in the cleanup spot, Juliana Neal. Catcher, Emma Akar. First base, Cecilia Daly. Third base, Jillian Caputo. And your right and left outfielders, Haley Peters and Carly Foglia. And look at the Sterling's defense. Trish Quinn's going to take the mound today. Ashley Croge, as always, behind the plate. Marissa Edmonds at first. Hannah Ochenegro at second. Marissa Nagel back after an injury that kept her out for a majority of the beginning of the season. And Gab Ochenegro at the other hot corner. Whalen, Kriebel, and Kozaneski are going to round up your outfield as we are just about underway. First pitch from Quinn, popped up into the air. Gab Ochenegro camps underneath it. One pitch, one out here in the top of the first.
Well, if there's any indication of how Trish Quinn is going to pitch today, that was one of those ones that just had a dead sound off the bat, and that means she's got her good fastball going and is in position to really overpower and at the same time keep hitters off balance, which she does so well.
It's going to bring up the center field of Caleb Blythe. Batting .250 on the season. Looking at a 1-0 count. Swung on and missed there. 1-1. Nice off speed there by Trish Quinn.
Yeah, that's what Quinn's going to do. She's going to mix things up there and keep the hitters bounce. There's that.
Well, 9-iron now to Hannah Ochenegro. Easy play for her. So the Ochenegro sisters are responsible for both outs here in the top of the first.
And that's that changeup, but more importantly, Rob, it was located on the outside part of the plate. You saw the hitter leaning out. Anytime a hitter's leaning, you're going to see those weak pop-ups like you saw right there.
First pitch to Hannah Windus in there for a called strike. Hannah Windus hitting .300 on the season. A couple of RBIs. And the 0-1 swung on, hit on the ground to Gab Ochenegro, moving to her left, going to have to hurry, and gets her in time. Fires over to first for Edmonds for the final out. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first.
That's a nice play by Ochenegro there. Really had to move far to her left, and a good job not to hurry it, but gave herself a chance to set the feet and got it right there. Great play at third base by Gab Ochenegro.
And we'll take a look at the Sterling. Actually, we're going to go to Haddon Township defense first. It's going to be Neal on the mound, Akar behind the plate, Daly at first, Wakely at second, Windus at shortstop, Caputo at third, and that's Foglia, Blythe, and Peters in the outfield for the Haddon Township Hawks. And the Sterling starting lineup leading off and second base, Hannah Ochenegro, Ella Kriebel at center field, Emily Oleto, designated player. And the cleanup spot, Gab Ochenegro, third base as always. Marissa Nagel, shortstop, hitting 5th. Ashley Croge hitting 6th. Kaylee Whalen in left field hitting 7th. Marissa Edmonds batting 8th. And Trish Quinn, the pitcher, rounding up the Sterling starting 9. And take a look at the numbers of Juliana Neal, 7-2. 17 earned runs on the season. 66 strikeouts. Not bad numbers there for Neal.
Now, probably one of the taller pitchers that we've seen here in the games we've done at Sterling. If you remember the last game when we had West Deptford on. Don't remember the girl's name, but really wasn't that tall, but got a lot behind what she threw with her motion, and almost threw surprisingly hard.
And look at the stats for Hannah Ochenegro, second baseman, going to lead off, batting .333, 4 doubles, a triple, and 16 runs scored. That's what you want in your leadoff hitter. You want them to score the runs.
More surprisingly, Miss Johnson has taken herself away from the third base coaching position, and now she's sitting in a chair.
And that's got to be driving her nuts. She's used to coaching that third baseline. Now unable to do so. So fouled back out of play. 0-2 quickly to Ochenegro. As we take a look at Coach Johnson sitting next to Emily Kozaneski.
Finally, Miss Johnson, I think, listened to her dad, although she'll probably never admit it. She'll say, I came to this decision on my own. Had nothing to do with what my dad was saying. Nothing at all.
That's got to be a tough position as a head coach, and got to sit back and think safety first. 2-2 to Hannah Ochenegro. Great day here for softball. Again, shockingly windy. They're grounded right back to the pitcher. Neo fires over to Daly for the out. But always a wind tunnel here at Sterling. We were out here earlier this morning, and there was no wind. And I'm like, hey, this is going to be great. And all of a sudden, it seems like around noon or 1 or 2 o'clock, it really starts to fire up.
No, I think it's right before we get set to put papers down.
Sure.
On this table.
El Kriebel
whips up.
El Kriebel batting .342 on the season. Beautiful bunt by Kriebel. Is she going to be able to beat it out? She does. Dropped absolutely dead about 1.5 feet in front of the plate.
Well, whenever you get a situation where you have 3 fielders converging on the ball at the same time, when you're talking about a bunt, you put it in the right spot. Just a real nice job by El Kriebel right there.
Look at the numbers for Emily Arletto. Batting .538 on the season is Arletto.
Arletto, only a sophomore, coming on and really doing a good job offensively for Sterling. I mean, the average basically tells you all you need to know at .538.
Arletto showing bunt, then peels back. And stealing second is Kriebel, backed up nicely there by Blythe in center field. Otherwise, Kriebel could have been on her way to third.
And that's a typical aggressive play you'll see from Sterling with 1 out. Just trying to make something happen here to start things off.
So Kriebel on second base after the stolen base, 2-0. Fouled off, out of play, 2-1. Just missed. I want to see it tailed inside. The 2-1 on the way from Neal. In there for a called strike, 2-2. Just on the outside part of the plate. 2-2, 1 out here. And fouled back out of playoffs. The concession stand behind us. Or behind Arletto anyway, not behind us. We're down the third baseline. This is our comfy spot here. Hit on the ground to first base, steps on first for the out. It's right on the line there, but that's going to move Kriebel to third. That's going to bring up Gab Ochenegro. You thought Emily Arletto's average was good. Take a look at Ochenegro hitting .614, 18 RBIs on the season. And first pitch swung on and missed by Gab Ochenegro.
There are 2 outs, but still an opportunity to get the runner home. And I think that was one of the things you saw in that last game that we had done against West Deptford. When they did have opportunities, they didn't take advantage of, left some runners on base.
Ochenegro on the ground to third base, scooping it up as Caputo. And not going to have a play on the speedy Ochenegro. Runners on the corners here with 2 out.
Real smart move by Kriebel, because if she went and went straight ahead with her momentum, went home, they would have had her out. That would have been the easier play, but a good job holding up and letting Gab Ochenegro get in there safe at first.
Brings up Marissa Nagel as Ochenegro walks into second base, so runners now on second and third, 2 out. Obviously an uncontested throw there by the catcher, Akar. In there for a called strike at the knees, and it's 0-2.
Ball kind of tailed back towards Nagel.
Just missed, and it's 1-2. As Neal has some pitches to burn here. She's ahead of Ochenegro, 1-2.
Yeah, that's just a waste pitch, keeping it down. You don't want to get the ball up to Nagel because she's got a lot of power.
The 1-2. Same spot again, 2-2. The count even now to Gab Ochenegro. Should she get aboard Marissa Nagel? Oh, check that, it's Nagel.
That's off the plate, and you know, we've got a lot of games here. We've done a lot of games where umps have called that a strike, but that is off the plate.
3-2 now to Nagel, excuse me.
There's that high fastball there, and Neal's really can put a lot on it.
Kriebel on third, and she'll stay there. Ochenegro on second. Sterling looking to strike early here. Runners on second and third. The full count pitch, and it's a free pass for Nagel. And now the bases are loaded for Ashley Croge. Seen her hit a few bombs out of here. No better time to hit than one right now to start off the game.
That's a real nice at bat by Marissa Nagel. I mean, worked the pitcher, got behind a little bit in the count, but worked it, fouled off a couple pitches, and they're making Neal throw pitches here.
Brings up Ashley Croge. Looks at a strike. Wind, as we mentioned, kind of blowing across the field from right field, basically right across the field here. Hit in the air towards first base in foul territory. Nobody's going to have a shot at that one.
And that wind played a part, I think, in putting that
more foul than it was going to be
out of play. I mean, it was. You get to that point where the hill starts. That's where the line is, and that's where the point where it's playable. But I think the wind kind of even pushed it beyond that. And Ashley Croge gets a break right there.
Again, Neal ahead of another batter. And just missed outside. Haddon Township wanted that one. They didn't get it. As you mentioned, Schulze, a waste pitch, but that could have been easily a called third strike.
This is one of the few times that those pitches 6 inches off the plate aren't being called strikes.
Croge hits one a mile into right field, and it's a grand slam home run for Ashley Croge. Over the right fielder's head and out, and Ashley Croge gives Sterling a 4-0 lead.
Well, you talk about a girl who comes up big at the right time, and their bases loaded in the first inning, grand slam, gets Sterling off to a great start, finishing off a great 2-out rally here. And obviously, you still have more to go here, but just an outstanding job. Outstanding piece of work hitting by the senior Ashley Croge. You know, on the outside part of the plate, drove it that way. And Rob, we talked about it. That's a ball she hit high in the air, and it was into the wind. So you had the wind going against it. That just goes to tell you how much power she has, and just an outstanding at-bat there for Ashley Croge.
I believe Ashley Croge told me today she's going to be playing her college ball at Rutgers Camden. I'm sure they'll be happy to see that. Got a chance to see Rutgers Camden this weekend in the New Jersey Athletic Conference Division III tournament at Rowan University.
Well, in Ashley Croge, you talk about a leader. You've got somebody who's a 3-year starter, and at that important position, catcher. And, you know, we did a game, I believe it was last year or the year before, where she came up with a big, I think it was a 3-run home run to win a game. So has had a lot of big hits, and we can just add another one to the list right there.
We saw it in the open, her walk-off home run. I believe that was against Woodstown. And a swing and a miss by Kaylee Whalen, and that ends the inning. But Sterling gets 4 runs off the Ashley Croge grand slam And they have a 4-0 cushion after the first. Take another look at the home run here by Ashley Croge. In just a second, got all of it, went right over Peter's head in right field. And that was into, we mentioned the wind coming from right field, got all over it. We'll take a look at it here.
Jewel, start us off.
No doubt about that one. All Peters could do was turn around. You could have moved that fence back another 20 feet. It might have been still out.
And it's one thing to hit a line drive into the wind where it's going to cut through it, but we said she got under that a little bit, and that just shows you how much more that would have been out by had there not been a wind blowing it in.
For Haddon Township, it's going to be Neal, Akar, and Daly, the 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Hawks.
Now giving Trish Quinn a nice cushion against a very, very good Haddon Township team. But Rob, this is the time of the year where you really want to start playing well, take advantage of all the situations that you have in front of you. And you know, you saw right there they got a 2-out rally going, and they're the types of things that championship teams do. They take advantage of that, and they did right there, and the senior really came through for them.
Juliana Neal going to step in now.
Hey, Seven, let's go, kid.
Neal on the season batting .531 with 11 runs scored and as many RBIs. A couple of home runs to her credit as well. First pitch on the way, swung on, foul back off the screen, 0-1.
And you talk about little things in the game. El Cribel on that situation where there's 2 outs. Oceanegra hit the ball to the third baseman. A lot of younger players, younger base runners would have broke on that one. Would have been dead to right at the plate, but
hit on the ground, and it's fair ball down the third base line. Scooping it up is Whalen, and she gets it in. That's a stand-up double for Juliana Neal to open the second inning.
You'll see this. Neal just turned on it, and that one just hugged the line. You talk about it being a game of inches. Just went right over the base, right on the line there. And just like that, Haddon Township, with Neal helping her own cause right there, is got the leadoff runner on.
Brings up Emma Akar, the catcher. Looks at the first pitch, low and away. Emma Akar on the season batting .077 at 26 at-bats. Quickly 2-0 to Emma Akar. Juliana Neal on second base to leadoff double.
You definitely have a hitter's umpire today. And I think in my early look, he's consistent. That's all you ask for, but...
And Akar rips one into left field for a base hit. They're going to hold Neal at third with nobody out, so runners on the corners for Haddon Township. Good response here from Haddon Township after giving up the grand slam to Ashley Croge.
2 very hard hit balls. See right here in this one, and we talk about the hitters kind of waiting things out. That one was up a little bit in the zone, but she really turned on it. It was 2 very hard hit balls back to back.
Brings up Cecilia Daly, the first baseman, as Akar goes into second standing up.
Well, that's that first and third situation that in softball you pretty much give up there.
Foul back out of play. Evens the count at 1-1. Again, nobody out here in the top of the second.
And the one good thing on Sterling's End is you have a girl like Trish Quinn, who we've seen get into some jams, but she's got the mental part of the game down where she battles and really can fight through different situations.
2-1 to Daly. Daly hitting .333 on the season. Couple RBIs. Only 18 plate appearances for Daly. Swung on, hit right back at Trish Quinn. They're going to double up Neal at third base. So a double play, and Sterling absolutely needed that. Now there's 1 runner on. Neal kind of fell asleep there at third base.
Well, you talk about the difference in base running. We talked about El Cribel, how she held up at third, enabled that play to happen in that first inning, kept the rally going, and you see right there, a miscue on the bases enabled Sterling to get a double play and get themselves one step here closer to getting out of this jam.
So L1 on the putout. Daly lines out to the pitcher Trish Quinn, then Quinn fires over to third for the second out. That'd be 1-5 on that putout if you're scoring at home, which some people like to do.
And Haddon Township got a couple hits, so we're not on the hook for missing any no-hitters or perfect games.
No, not this time. We'll wait for the playoffs for that. Outside 1-2 to Jillian Caputo, the third baseman.
We're going to hire somebody to just alert us to that and just be
we'll put that in the budget.
Tracker.
Yeah, we'll put that in the budget for next year. Things
tracker.
that you think that broadcasters would pick up on almost instantaneously.
We need that 16th tech crew member to be the hit tracker. 15 is not enough.
It's just not nearly enough.
16th guy.
As always, a big shout out to our tech crew who are on the roof.
All over the place.
Emmy award-winning crew as well. Just came out with a Emmy award for their production in one of the basketball games. As Caputo hits one back to Trish Quinn, who fires over to Edmonds for the final out of the inning. So crisis averted for Sterling. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave one stranded. We're going to head to the bottom of the second. Still 4-0 Sterling. Big game for Sterling. This is the last game before their playoff standings here. You look at the Group 2 PowerPoints right here. Cinnaminson right on the heels of Sterling. Don't look at their 7-8 record. You got to look at that last column on the right there. Only 1 point behind Sterling. Cinnaminson is done with their games now, so they're done. They're not going to move from 212. Sterling has a chance to move up here, and they should. So barring something crazy, Sterling looking like they're going to be the #1 seed, but West Deptford still has a bunch of games in hand, so they could either be the 1 or 2 seed as Sterling. Again, West Deptford's going to play Sterling later on this week, which is a big game for West Deptford. Right now, they're currently sitting in the 5 spot. So you can't really look at regular season record. You really have to look at the PowerPoints. And for Sterling, it's going to be Marissa Edmonds leading off for the Silver Knights. And 529 is Marissa Edmonds. 6 RBIs, 7 runs scored is Marissa Edmonds, five doubles. It's going to be Edmonds, Quinn, and then back to the top of the lineup in Ochenegro. Hannah Ochenegro, that is. There's 2 of them on the team. We have to specify. Be interesting to see how Haddon Township responds after that big first inning, and that's a huge lift for Sterling. Any team, really, when you get 4 runs in the first inning. It's going to give Trish Quinn a little bit of wiggle room here, but she is not going to let up. Neither is the rest of the Sterling Silver Knights. They know the importance of this game. Definitely don't want to let up here. Even though it's 4-0, you can get runs in a hurry in softball.
Well, you already saw what Haddon Township was able to do in getting the first 2 hitters on. Sterling was fortunate to get that line drive right back at him and double up Neal at third, but Haddon Township is more than a capable team of putting some runs on the board.
I don't know if you can fault Neal on that base running error. Because she was trying to get a lead and be aggressive in the base running. It was lined right back at Trish Quinn, and Neal was kind of stuck about a third of the way to home plate at that point.
Yeah, it's a fine line between getting that lead. Obviously, you want to try to, if anything is hit to that right side, score on that.
First pitch by Edmonds, laced into center field. Camping underneath it is Blythe for the first out. It's going to bring up Trish Quinn, the pitcher.
Hit the ball hard, just right at Blythe.
Trish Quinn, numbers on the season, 412 with an RBI to her credit. Only a junior, so we get to call her name next year. And she lays down a bunt. And coming over and making the play, nice play, Neal and Wakely coming over from second base to cover.
Joshtown again tried to make that call at first base and tried his best to get the safe call.
Yeah, watch Coach Talon here. If he's just going to be just out of the screen. Yeah,
we're not quite there, but
swing and a miss by Hannah Ochenegro. Quickly 0-1. Grounded out to the pitcher, and this one's going to go right at Wakely, who fires over to Daly for the out. 3 up, 3 down for Sterling, so a good response here by Haddon Township. We head to the bottom of the second, 4-0 Sterling.
And Mr. Talent didn't even try with the safe call there.
No. That one was pretty obvious. So far, Sterling has 4 runs on 2 hits. Check that, 3 hits.
The #1 seed in Group 2, and that's why, obviously, this is a big game, the last game for Sterling, when you talk about their power points, and then if they can beat West Deptford, that'll kind of take them out of the mix and allow Sterling to retain the #1 spot. So a lot can happen over the next couple days. You know, Rob, this week is the week where a lot of teams are getting those makeups in. Some teams have 3 games in 4 days.
Peters fouls off the second pitch quickly, 0-2 to Peters. Just off the top of the bat, now off the backstop. The 0-2 from Quinn. High and outside, 1-2.
But this is the time of the year where you really want to have everything clicking. And, you know, with Sterling, you have some veteran leaders. So that's a big thing as you look at Trish Quinn getting the strikeout, looking there. And that's just right on the inside corner. You saw the batter step out, but that hugged that inside corner of the plate. Good job by Trish Quinn using the inside part of the plate.
Carly Folgia, the left fielder, batting in the 9 spot. Swung on and missed.
I like the way Trish Quinn's mixing things up. You saw the real good fastball right there. You're seeing off speed also. That's located really well. You saw right there, kind of, I think, got away from her a little bit, but we've seen some of the off-speed pitches go to the outside part of the plate that she's been able to get a strikeout, but more importantly, a couple times she was able to get a weak pop-up out of it.
Swung on a miss by Folgia. It's 1-2.
And when you're mixing up the off-speed with the fastball, it makes that fastball look that much quicker.
Full count to Folgia. The pitch. Swung on, foul back out of play. Crown will hold it 3-2. A lot of events going on this afternoon. Lacrosse with a home game behind us. Volleyball with a home game. Tennis on the road at Audubon. And baseball also on the road against the same Haddon Township Hawks. Folgia again making Trish Quinn work. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd.
And this is a makeup game. You're talking about Haddon Township for softball and baseball. That being there, that was canceled, I believe, a couple weeks ago.
Ball 4, and that's going to put Folgia on board with 1 out. Just missed there.
Yeah, that looked good, right? It could have been right at the knees, but you have an umpire that's got a tight strike zone. Definitely different, and we talked about it, than a lot of the umpires. We had a couple games where the umpires were given the pitch almost a foot off the plate. You know, with the good center field view that we have, the great job that our camera guys do on the tech crew, you could see a lot of that, but it's a different story here. This is definitely not a pitcher's umpire. You got a hitter's umpire here, and it's a matter of no matter what team takes advantage of that.
Bunt, beautiful bunt there by Wakely. Croge fires over to first for the out. 2-4 on the putout. And there's 2 away here in the top of the 3rd for Caleb White, the center fielder.
And that's where you saw a bunt, but she didn't get enough on it. You saw the one by, I believe, El Kriebel in that first inning where we talked about all the fielders converging at the same time, and you really didn't have anything to do. That was a perfect bunt. This one just needed to kind of go out of maybe about 5 or 6 more feet.
Folgia on second base as Blythe looks at ball one in the dirt.
One more step and then catcher gets it, get back quick.
Come on, Trish, you got it, kid. Come on, Trish. Oh, you 7-0, you kid.
The 1-0 pitch on the way. In there for a called strike with a fastball, 1-1. This was right down the pike. Even kind of tailed in as well.
Yeah.
Hit in the air, Blythe, and running up on it, making the catch in right field is Kozaneski to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one runner left on base. We're going to move to the bottom of the third. Still 4-0 Sterling, thanks to the bat of Ashley Croach.
You know, just a looping low liner here, and Emily Kozaneski calls that. That's where that outfielder sees everything in front of him. That's the easier play. Good job by Emily Kozaneski coming up there.
Put that in the Kozaneski highlight reel. I'm sure Mr. K will review her form at dinner tonight and put it on the big screen and
frame by frame.
Oh yeah, analyze everything.
But that and Mr. K knows this from in baseball and softball. The communication between the outfielders and the infielders is one of the most frustrating things at times you see, because they're so doing little things like that, you know, running the bases, making the right decisions on the bases. And just as we're saying that, we see El Kriebel coming up. They're the things that could be the difference between winning and moving on in a playoff and being done. A lot of playoff games are very good teams and are decided by split-second decisions.
El Kriebel singled her first bat. This one goes up over the backstop and out of play. It's going to be Kriebel, Arletto, and Ochenegro here in the bottom of the third. Sterling with a 4-0 lead. The 1 popped right into the catcher's glove of Akar there and quickly one away. Probably not what Kriebel wanted to do there. And it's going to bring up Emily Arletto and ground it out to first. Her only plate appearance. Arletto hits one right back to first base. That's a fair ball, and she is tagged out. So a pair of at-bats for Arletto and a pair of 3 unassisted outs for the second out.
On the nose, and you see the first baseman shaking her glove. That's a situation where
stinger.
You hit it hard. It was an outside pitch. You went with it. You did what you had to do. Just didn't go to the right spot. It found the glove.
Knock it down. Ball inside to Gab Ochenegro, also singled, has a stolen base to her credit.
Come on now.
Arletto swung at the first pitch there. Got all of it.
Yeah.
And Ochenegro fouls one out of play.
Well, we talked about her coming in here and really playing herself into the lineup with what she's been able to do offensively. You saw she's over 500 in hitting. And they definitely need her bat in the lineup.
The 1-1 pitch to Gab Ochenegro. In there for a called strike, 1-2. So all things considered, Neal pitching pretty well, getting ahead of most of the hitters. She just made that one mistake to Ashley Croach. The 1-2, hit on the ground to third. Backing it up is Windus. Fires over to first, not going to make it to beat the speedy Gab Ochenegro. It's an infield single for Gab Ochenegro, her second in as many at-bats.
Just hit it to that spot where you saw the third baseman moving over, and that's that one play that Gab Ochenegro in the field made. And it's a tough one. You're moving to your left as a third baseman, have to reset your feet, and of course Gab Ochenegro's got good speed.
That's going to bring up Marissa Nagel, the shortstop, walked to load the bases up for Ashley Croach, who waits on deck. The 0-1. Just high. Ochenegro is going to go into second standing up, so another stolen base for Gab Ochenegro. In there for a called strike. 1-2 to Marissa Nagel. Said Schulze, she's getting ahead of a lot of these hitters. And ball outside, 2-2.
Nagel coming off a real good at bat where she drew the walk, fouled off a couple pitches.
The 2-2 pitch. Called third strike. Marissa Nagel goes down looking to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. We go to the top of the 4th, still 4-0 Sterling.
Yeah, that's one of those ones, again, you know, if it's a little bit off.
And it rains for 2 straight weeks. And cold, too, on top of it.
I remember one of the coldest, rainiest games we've had. Donovan Casey was pitching. This was probably, 3 years ago, I think when he was a junior. And it was in June.
Windus lays down a bunt. Croge up to pick it up, scoops it over, high throw, and is able to get Windus. Nice job by Hannah Ochenegro to put her foot on the bag and corral the high throw.
And she gets an ice cream cone as a treat with the ice cream cone catch. Boy, that's a great play by Hannah Ochenegro.
It's going to bring up Juliana Neal.
Wow.
Hits it right to Gab Ochenegro, who's going to fire over to Edmonds at first for the out. 5-3 on the putout.
And that's one of those ones when you get back to what, you look at the play right here. Wow. Third to first with Hannah Ochenegro knowing in the situation, as you look at the play again here by Gab Ochenegro, Hannah Ochenegro knowing that she needed to hold the bag and just stretch herself out. Sometimes you'll see kids just jump early in effort to get the ball and have her foot off the bag, but just a great play coming over from second.
Joined in the broadcast booth now by athletic trainer Sean Clank.
Hello.
Welcome aboard. 1-1 to Emma Akar, the catcher. Outside, she singled and stole a base her last at bat in the second. 2-1.
Was she the player who got doubled off third too on the when Trish caught the line drive?
No, that was Juliana Neal.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
3-1 to Emma Akar. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Sterling leading 4-0. Thanks to the home run grand slam variety by Ashley Croge. Swung on, popped up in the air, and Gab Ochenegro squeezes it for the final out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Sterling. And when they move to the home half of the 4th, still 4-0 Sterling.
No doubt about it.
So add 4 more RBIs to Ashley Croge. 21 RBIs. Her average will go up a little bit as well, and 3 home runs on the season.
Yeah, all these stats aren't normally what you see this time of year, but there's been so many rainouts that it's hard to judge from year to year. This compared to other years, because
First pitch in there for a called strike.
We'd like to welcome the sun today. He's just coming out. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, sun was out yesterday on Mother's Day. That was a nice little treat for all the moms out there. Happy belated Mother's Day. 0-1 pitch swung on, fouled back out of play. And it's trying to make an appearance today. A lot of cloud cover in here, which makes it okay for us as broadcasters. I'm sure the outfielders appreciate too. And now the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, hit the ground, right back at Neal. Over to first, and Daly for the out. 1-3 on the putout for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Kaylee Whalen, the left fielder, who struck out to end the first inning.
Yeah, nice play by Neal, but she had a lot more time than she actually turned and made a really quick throw there. You know, you like to have a nice, take your time and give a nice throw right to the chest of the first baseman.
First pitch from Neal, hit in the hole into center field for a base hit. A 1-out single for Kaylee Whalen.
Good job by Whalen finding that hole off to the right side.
5th hit of the day for Sterling. That's going to bring up Marissa Edmonds, the first baseman, who lined out to center field in the second. First pitch swung on, just foul tipped into the glove of Akar for strike 1.
And the one good thing, you know, you mentioned about Edmonds lining out. You see the ball hit hard by Whalen. You know, we've had good hard hit outs. They've just been right at fielders.
Right back to the pitcher for 1. They're not going to get Edmonds at first base. So a fielder's choice. That's going to bring up Trish Quinn. Looks at ball one. Edmonds on first base on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, it's interesting. The other week on the South Jersey Sports Digest, they had Mr. Regal on about the umpires, and he had made a point that there's attempt this year to have the umpires call a little bit higher strikes in softball than they have in the past. So it's a very interesting perspective from an umpire's perspective to hear him talk about it. But he was saying there was they put out a notice that they would like to see a little bit of higher strike zone.
On the ground to Windus at short, and fires over to Daly for the final out of the inning. No runs, one hit, no errors, and one left on. We go to the top of the fifth. Sterling with a 4-0 lead.
Well, I think technically, and obviously it's supposed to be the knees and the upper part, the letters or the chest, and you're never going to get it that high, but they probably want to inch up, because right now it's probably at the belt, and they probably want to go a little bit higher than that.
So it gives the kids, there's like, hey, this is where a strike's going to be, so you don't have so you don't have that question as the game goes on, or get a feel for it, as long as they stay consistent with it.
It's going to be Daly, Caputo, and Peters. The 6, 7, 8 hitters for Haddon Township. Daly, her only plate appearance back in the second, lined out to Trish Quinn to open the second inning.
And the other thing you look at, Sean, is that you want your hitters, especially the hitters in the early part of the lineup, to go back and communicate with everybody, see, let them know, hey, he's giving you, he's calling the strikes right on the black, but anything off, don't go for it.
Sure.
Daly hits one on the ground to Trish Quinn, scoops it up, fires over to Edmond for the out. Easy play for Trish Quinn. One out here in the top of the fifth. It's going to bring up Jillian Caputo. Also grounded out to Trish Quinn.
Yeah, to
end the inning in the second.
No, I'm sorry. And to take that one step further, you would also like to see your catcher and pitcher communicate that well with the hitters as well, especially when you're leading off the game here at the home game where we're on the field first.
Yeah.
And they can communicate that with the hitters as well, what they're seeing.
Haley Peters, the right fielder, waits on deck. Little slap bunt over to Hannah Ochenegro. Underhands it easily to Edmonds. 4-3 on the putout for the second out.
Okay, nice job by Hannah here on the replay. Going over, and again, you see she kind of takes her time and flips the ball to first base. A lot of times when infielders flip, they flip with the wrist, but she made a nice little flip with the stiff wrist there to give her a true hop. So to give him a true, the first baseman a true throw to first base there.
0-2 now to Peters. That's going to come right into
coming right back at you.
Look out.
If you have a 3D TV, duck. It was coming right at you.
Or take your glasses off, one or the other.
There you go.
On the ground, scooping up is Nagel, fires it over to Edmonds, and she gets her foot off the bag. And that's going to be an error on Marissa Nagel.
Yeah, just came out throwing, and actually the ball started to tail on her a little bit, and Marissa just couldn't hold the bag there.
Carly Folgia, the left fielder.
Yeah, it's a very nice job by Marissa charging the ball, but just got a little bit of a tail on that throw there.
Folgia walked and was stranded at second in the third inning. And she looks at a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, just low, 2-1. Nice job by Ashley Crow, just scooped that one up. With Peters standing on first base. Again, in the dirt low, 3-1. And Quinn has fallen behind Folgia, 3-1.
Yeah, this is a good time for Croge to come out and just get Quinn back into that rhythm. And you can do it different ways. Either a catcher could come out as a pitcher. Sometimes you see girls walk off the mound a little bit and just get themselves refocused.
Well, and that's the advantage of having a senior leadership in catching. And she noticed that's going on. Now it's one of those things. Let's get back to work and work in the strike zone.
And gets a ground ball right back to Quinn and fires over to Edmond for the out. So the little conference by Croge worked. No runs, no hits, 1 error and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still 4-0 Sterling. They have 7 games left to determine where they're going to be in the Group 2 power points.
Probably a lot of games over the next week and a half, 2 weeks.
Are you allowed to do double headers?
I know they were saying, somebody was saying, I think baseball has 8 games in 11 days.
Yeah.
So that you're going to get situations like that where you're getting a lot of games in a very short period of time with, what's been going on with the weather the last couple of weeks.
That's almost a Major League Baseball schedule right there.
Yeah, I mean, we have a situation coming up on Saturday where we actually play in the morning here, and then we're going and playing away at 1 o'clock. I think at Paul 6,
PBI,
right?
yeah.
So
is that for softball or
for baseball?
Okay.
For baseball, a little going back to the alma mater of Mr. K and Mr. Schultz.
That's right.
So,
well, that's something that in if you had that in softball, it wouldn't be too bad. But it's tough in baseball because all those games, and like you said, 2 in 1 day, it really puts a lot of pressure on your pitching staff.
yeah, it's really a lot of limiting. It's a limiting factor in pitching when it comes to baseball. So they get backed up, it's really tough. Here's a pitch here. When you talk about the high strikes, now this one's a little bit too high. It's up maybe about the belly button. So you
Ryan Smith almost with a left-handed catch off the
hit one off the wall.
That should have been
There you
2 hands, though. He could have got the other hand on it, maybe.
He's an ex-baseball player. I mean, he's got his first year at college. A lot of the graduates from last year have done their first full year at college, coming back and.
Yeah, welcome back, class of 2015. They're all finishing up. I know my daughter came home this weekend from Stockton.
Did he keep a room assembled and everything, or did he turn it into like a sitting room already?
Yeah, no, I don't go in her room. When the liquids start turning to solids, you don't go in their rooms anymore.
A 3-2 pitch swung on, fouled back out of play. Count will hold the 3-2.
Here's a pitch here. This ball looks like it's tailing inside here. So
just able to get a piece of it is Ochenegro, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Swung on, hit in the air, one hop. Wakely over to Daly for the out. Now Kriebel going to step in now. 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored is El Kriebel.
Yeah, popped up a bunter last time up.
Had a real good bunt her first time up. Just got it out there where it was difficult for everybody to field, but obviously that wasn't the case the last time.
Called strike to El Kriebel, 0-1. And the pitch on the way from Neal. Inside part of the plate, strike 2. So Neal ahead of El Kriebel, 0-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. The 0-2 pitch. Called, 3rd strike. El Kriebel looks at 3 pitches.
Yeah, that one actually looks
down.
Can't really tell what her plate is, but this actually looks like the outside. If you look at the catcher's glove, look how far outside they're reaching. That's a tough call.
Yeah, that's a call they haven't been getting.
Yeah.
But they're getting it now. Or they got it on that one.
It's going to bring up Emily Auletto. Pair of ground outs to first base. So she's 0 for 2 for the day.
She looks hitterish, as the Trias brings to say.
That's how
there you go.
Auletto hits one into right field, going back on it is Peters, and it makes a bucket catch to end the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. We go to the top of the 6th, still 4-0 Sterling.
We're going to wait and see how it all shakes out. Hopefully get some gains, because looking on the forecast, looks like it's supposed to rain tomorrow morning as well.
Yeah. Well, whatever happens, you're never going to get a decision that's going to make everybody happy. Somebody's going to be yeah, irritated that they didn't get the benefit of the doubt, but it's just a tough thing.
First pitch to Nicole Wakely to lead off the top of the 6th is in there for a called strike. And it's fouled back out of play. Only 2 hits for Haddon Township so far, both of which came in that second inning. The leadoff double by Neal and then the single by Akar, but they stranded both of those runners.
We got the benefit of that call, similar to last inning. If you watch this, she sets up on the outside pitch and she kind of leans out.
That was closer than they called third strike on Kriebel.
Yeah, it's tough to hit.
1-2 to Wakely. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th.
Okay, you got it, kid. Come on, Trish, you got it, kid. You got this. Come on, kid, you got it. Right here,
Swung on a 9-iron into center field for a base hit. Scooping it up is Kriebel. So the 3rd hit of the afternoon comes off the bat of Nicole Wakely to lead off the 6th inning.
Instead of 9-iron, it kind of looked like a Strauss driver, though.
You know what? If you've seen me golf, that's about as far as I hit my driver too.
So,
nice bunt right down the first base line, and Croach.
And just another great play by Hannah Ochenegro coming over.
That's a nice job. Croach throws it up, and Hannah comes down and comes right on the base. Yep. That's a very good call by the umpire.
That's the 3rd time that's happened where Ochenegro has been pulled off the bag, and no contesting from either one of the Haddon Township coaches.
Yeah.
But in all 3 times, guys, they didn't get the bunt out far enough. They made it easy for Ashley Croach to come out and make the play.
Yeah, Croach is right on top of it, but there's a wild pitch here. Gets wet.
You want to bunt. You don't want to get too much on it, but you want to get enough where it's just not a couple feet out in front of the plate. And Ashley Croach is a very good catcher, very quick.
Well, the coach is doing the right thing. You get a batter on, and you want to try to this one drive out to left field.
Roped into left field and gone. A 2-run home run by Hannah Windus.
I think that's Neal. That's pitcher. That's the pitcher, Juliana Neal, I believe. He turned on that.
Boy, Neal got all of that. That was
yes, she did.
You look here. She really got her arms extended on this one and really turned on it. Let's see a replay here. So now we got a 4-2 ball game. One swing in the bat really changed the game here. But this, and that just shows you the importance of that play by Ochenegro on first base. If not, you'll have, that's a 3-run homer, and you have 1 out.
Akar hits one into center field. Kriebel squeezes it for the final out of the inning, but Haddon Township brings it to within 2. They get 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors, and none left on. We're going to go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Sterling. So for Sterling here in the bottom of the 6th, looking for some insurance runs, it's going to be Gab Ochenegro, Marissa Nagel, and Ashley Croach. Take away that first inning. Sterling has only had 2 hits since that big 4-run first inning. 3 strikeouts to credit for Juliana Neal.
And we said Neal's had a good day. I mean, you just had the 1 inning, and give credit to Sterling. They did what they had to do with the 2-out rally.
Oof, nice stab by Neal over to Daly for the out. And she's getting a giggle out of that from her teammates on the infield. Good reaction on the left hand by Neal.
Well, that's the other part of the equation. Sterling has had a lot of hard-hit balls, but you've seen it just like that where they've been right at fielders. But Neal she's doing what she needs to do to keep herself in this game, both pitching and obviously with the bat, getting those 2 runs back.
2-0 to Marissa Nagel.
And we are going to welcome in our viewers from the Haddon Township area. We're going to get a chance to watch this game on Channel 19 in the Haddon Township, Haddonfield, Haddon Heights, and Audubon areas, and also that's on Comcast and on Verizon Fios Channel 46.
A full post-game show to follow, and Marissa Nagel on first base with a 1-out walk. 4-pitch walk nonetheless. And that's going to bring up Ashley Croge. So if you're just joining us, hit the grand slam home run in the first inning. Another opportunity here to give Sterling a little bit more insurance. Nagel on her way to second, sliding, and she's in there safely with a stolen base. Nice throw by the catcher, Akar.
And you saw Croge with that fake bunt. She pulled back, and yeah, that does a couple things. Sometimes you can throw the pitcher off, but that catcher's not able to jump out of there. Catcher's got to wait a split second before they can get out of there, get to that ball, and catch it and throw down to second. So that, again, another little thing you're seeing from one of the veterans.
1-1 to Ashley Croge. Croge hits one into right center field, and this one is off the fence. Rounding third and heading home is Nagel, and she will score. It's a stand-up double for Ashley Croge, and she's responsible for all 5 Sterling runs.
And they get one of the runs back that they lost on the 2-run home run by Neal, so that's a nice job there by Ashley Croge, again, coming up with a big hit.
That could prove to be a big run. Sterling now up 5-2. Kaylee Whalen,
and Megan
1 for 2 on the day.
Comes in the run for Croge.
So Whalen standing. Megan Shook, coming in, running for Ashley Croge. 1-1 to Kaylee Whalen. Two and one now. Again, Shook on second base. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed. Evens the count at 2-2 to Kaylee Whalen. And the movement on that pitch. Hit hard on the ground to second base. Moving over to third is Shook. And safe at first base is Kaylee Whalen.
Just missed it, but another hard hit ball, and Whalen has hit the ball hard the last 2 times up. The one for a single previous to this, and then right there hit a bullet to the second baseman and just was rewarded by the drop by the first baseman.
So runners on the corner, 1 out. For Marissa Edmonds, the first baseman. 0 for 1 on the day. Sean Clank back in the house. And therefore a called strike. Ball gets away, and scoring is Shook. And advancing to second is Whalen. I think we'll score that a pass ball.
Yeah, it would have to be. If you look, Edmonds turned almost a fake bunt, and I think I might have distracted the catcher a little bit here. Now, what I couldn't tell before that is looks like the catcher was looking down to see if Whalen was going to steal second, so I think she was kind of looking. I don't know if they had a play on for that first and third situation. So.
Foul back out of play now, 6-2 Sterling, so they get back those 2 runs that they gave up in the top half of the inning. And they still lead this one by 4.
Yeah, you always love scoring runs without the benefit of a hit.
The 1-2 pitch. Evens count 2-2. Should Edmonds get aboard, Trish Quinn waits on deck. Hit on the ground to third base. Caputo scoops it up, fires over to first, and is safe at first. Caputo with a low throw, not able to corral it, is Daly.
She set the feet, just wasn't able to get that over there. Just like that, Sterling has runners at the corners.
Yeah, it's a throwing error. She drew the first baseman off. She looked the runner back to second and looked like she hurried the throw a little bit.
So back-to-back errors as Quinn bunts it foul. So now you have runners on first and third with one out and already 2 runs across the plate here for Sterling. Quinn showing bunt again as Edmonds going to move up to second base on the stolen base. So now runners on second and third with 1 out.
Yeah, catcher's very fortunate to catch the ball. If you look, she actually turned her head as the ball hit the dirt. So she's very fortunate to pick that up on a scoop.
Ball gets away from Akar again, and coming in to try and score and cannot is Kaylee Whalen. She's gunned out at the plate.
Yeah, ball's up a little bit high, and Kaylee's coming. Nice job by Keel to cover. Or Neal, I'm sorry.
And that's one of those ones where she set up a little bit high, but you see the ball was probably, a couple feet away from the target, and you get that rising fastball. They're the ones that are going to skip off the glove.
And a stab there by Wakely. Still has time. Going to have no play there. As a run will score, Edmonds scores to make it 7-2.
Well, Haddon Township has had their opportunities to get out of this inning, but you've got to make plays against good teams, and they really haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, a hard one hopper here. If you look at the second baseman, though, she falls to her knees rather than staying on her feet to catch that ball. And I think that cost her.
On the ground to short. Windus throws it away, and that's going to allow the runners to move up.
Yeah, you could say that's the theme of the inning. They're throwing this inning away. They're really just throwing. This is not so much the gloves; it's just their arms are just really throwing the balls away here.
That is the 3rd error of the inning for Haddon Township, just when they pulled into within 2.
And that's a situation there, a ground ball to shortstop. He wouldn't even mind seeing her try to go to second to get a force out there.
You gotta get him.
So that's going to bring up El Kriebel. And 1 for 3 on the day with a strikeout and a run scored.
And if you look at their bunt defense here, it's a little bit odd, not you normally see. Second baseman's actually in front of the first baseman, and so if you see, it's almost like a star angle. You have the first baseman playing back and the second baseman playing up the charge.
Swung on, hit foul down the right field line, out of play. 1-2 to El Kriebel.
Yeah, as of right now, the way they're rotating, if you could have just punched one over the pitcher's head, you probably could have got a double.
Yeah.
Because they're really in the middle of the infield. Middle of the infield, you had the shortstop covering third, and you had the second baseman charging. So, but with 2 strikes, you're going to see a more conventional defense here.
1-2. Ball 2 to El Kriebel. Sterling getting 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. After they were silenced in the middle of this game. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. A second strikeout for El Kriebel to end the inning. But Sterling gets 3 runs on just 2 hits, 3 errors, and they leave 2 aboard.
Cut the game down to 2. If they really would have held them, it would have been a nice, a little bit more of an exciting finish here. But they kind of took some of the drama out of it here.
To give credit to Trish Quinn, other than the home run, she's done a nice job, been in some jams, and has really come up with good pitches at key times in this game.
It's going to be Daly, Caputo, and Peters, the 6, 7, 8 hitters for Haddon Township in the top half of the 7th. Quinn already ahead of Daly, 0-2. Daly is 0 for 2 on the day. And a called third strike, first out of the inning. That's strikeout number 2 on the afternoon for Trish Quinn.
Yeah, Trish took a little bit off of that. You see you're up 0-2. You want to try to change speeds a little bit.
Swung on a hit foul by Caputo.
Hey, say, let's go, kid.
Trish Quinn works quickly.
Come on, Trish, on you. Come on, Trish, right here, kid.
The 0-1. Just missed at the knees, 1-1.
Let's go, kid. Let's go, Trish.
Yeah, it comes in a little bit low. A lot of late movement on this ball if you watch.
Come on, Trish.
2 drops down there.
Fouled out of play, 1-2 to Caputo with Haley Peters on deck. Caputo on the afternoon, 0 for 2.
If you stay true to form here, they might go with a high fastball here at the 1-2 count. That's what Crozier's done before.
Right here, kid, right here.
The 1-2 just missed again, 2-2.
That's been a strike a few times today.
Yeah, and that's a good idea to go into the outside corner there. As I said, you got that call a couple times. So.
And a swinging strike. Caputo goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. And it's going to be up to Haley Peters to start a 2-out rally to keep Haddon Township in this game.
And Sean, you talked about the late movement on the low pitches, and you saw on that strikeout. I think that was a big key to the strikeout. It was down in the zone, and just kind of dropped there at the last second.
3 strikeouts. Strikeout number 3 on the afternoon for Trish Quinn. Looking for another victim here in Haley Peters, and the count is even at 1-1.
Well, 3 strikeouts, but we've talked a couple different times about how she's not allowing them, other than Neal, obviously.
Hit on the ground off of Peters. Nagel going to try and scoop it up and fire over to Edmonds to end it. I guess that's a 1-6-4 putout to end it, and Sterling wins this one 7-2.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you see a ball slowed down by the pitcher there, it's usually an infield hit. But nice job by Marissa Nagel staying with it and moving with the ball as hit up the middle. And able to get that last put out there.